Hey there! The fall season has begun, and we had a streak of bad weather, with a bit of wind, and even our usually so calm Baltic Sea started to become somewhat agitated. Now that might sound like a bad time, but it really doesn't have to be, as it is the time for hot teas and comfy evenings. I decided I wanted to try some pumpkin spice syrup latte. I mean, my wife wanted some. And not me, because I'm a manly man. However, there was a shortage, with scalpers buying up all the stock. Look at this. This usually costs $7, so I decided it was experimenting time. Without a clue, I bought a tiny pumpkin and looked up the other ingredients of the spice part. Now, most recipes I found add pumpkin puree, but I wanted to have a clear, golden brown syrup, so I decided to make sort of an extract. The pumpkin gets prepared the usual way, like you are making soup or something. Halve it, gut it, and cube it, and while you can leave the skin on with soup, we decided to remove it for this extraction process. Alrighty, let's take a look at the other ingredients. Obviously not in these amounts. I just presented them like that to make them look cool. For the proper amount, check the recipe in the description. Okay, so we've got our pumpkin, brown cane sugar, and regular sugar. Freshly pressed lemon juice, cloves, nutmeg, star anise, fresh ginger or powdered, doesn't really matter. Then some allspice and of course cinnamon. And I totally forgot to show one vanilla bean, so just imagine one vanilla bean neatly placed down among the other ingredients. Now we need to cook our extract. Add your pumpkin to a pot and add water. So we had about 500 grams or a pound of pumpkin and added about 1.5 liters of water to it. I'm not even going to pretend we knew what we are doing, we just winged it. Then we added all the other ingredients, minus the lemon juice and the sugar. Those we will add later. We set the temperature to high, put a lid on and let it boil until the pumpkin was almost falling apart. We had to add some more water halfway through the operation. In total, for our little pumpkin, we let it cook for roughly an hour. At this point, our kitchen started to smell rather nicely, and once the pumpkin was mushy, we poured all of it into a cheesecloth-lined strainer over a bowl. My wife removed the larger spice parts before using a spoon to press the pumpkin into a mush. Now we should have waited for the thing to cool down, but whatever. We gingerly rolled the cheesecloth to squeeze all the delicious pumpkin spice water out, which had a beautiful orange hue. What was left was a rather tiny amount of pumpkin paste. So, mission accomplished. And while that could have been good enough, we decided to give it one more filtering through a fresh cheesecloth straight into the cleaned pot, just to get out the final pumpkin particles. And indeed, we had some left. We heated the pumpkin spice water to a boil and added the sugar. This was a mix of 300 grams of cane sugar and 200 grams of white sugar. Then we added the vanilla bean, which had been cut in half. Also a nice dash of fresh lemon juice. Once it had heated back up, we added another 500 grams of white sugar to reach our final consistency, or viscosity. So we got a ratio of about 1:1 with liquid ingredients and sugar, which seemed about right. After letting it cook for another moment, we first transferred the vanilla bean to the bottle and then filled the hot sugar syrup in as well. Now, hot sugar water has a tendency to leave rather ugly burns if you happen to be a little sloppy. So maybe let it cool down for a bit before filling it into the bottle. We've got skill, however. Or maybe we were just lucky. Well, would you look at this? Beautiful golden brown sugar water. Pumpkin spice syrup. And it's absolutely delicious. I'm gonna call it and say this is better than the store-bought one. So much flavor, perfect for your coffee, your latte, your muesli, or for your cakes. We made ourselves a little latte macchiato with whipped cream and drizzled some syrup on there. And after tasting it, I wanted to wear Ugg boots and post hashtag pumpkin spice and everything nice. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. And maybe I'll see you next time, if you want to hear another tale. I should get my nails done.